What's up, beautiful people? Today we're talking about getting a pulse on our finances. So if you're interested, stay tuned. If we've never met before, I am Monique V, and here on this channel, I empower individuals like you on how to acquire financial health, as well as give out tools and tips on living the lifestyle in which you desire. So if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button down below, and don't forget to click on that notification bell so that you can be notified every time a video goes up. And if you're a returning fan, get comfortable and let's do this. Today we're talking about measuring the pulse of our finances. What does that even mean? Or how do we even do that? Well, there are two ways in particular in which we can measure the pulse on our finances. One would be to create a personal budget. That we'll get to in a later video. The other way is simply to pull your credit report. So why is it important to have a pulse on your finances? Number one, prevention is better than cure. It's sort of like getting a physical exam, right? You want to make sure that all your body parts are working good internally, externally, and it's way better than waiting until you are disease-filled and looking for a cure. That can be timely, it can be costly, and it can be very stressful. Well, look at your credit the same way. You want to make sure that you have an understanding of where you stand with your finances. Number two, what matters? Your money moves. You want to be able to make secure financial decisions. So for example, if you're in the market shopping for a car, you want to make sure that you can get the best interest rate available to you based on how you stand with your credit. Number three, identity theft. In the digital era in which we live in today, you want to make sure that what's on your credit belongs to you and no one else. Some of you may be even asking, what is a credit report? And I know for some, this is just a pure refresher, and it's okay. Let's start off with what is a credit report. A credit report is a list of businesses in which you have outstanding loans or credit activity with. It also will show your credit amounts available to you, your credit limits. It'll show your monthly payments. It'll also show your bad debt, i.e. non-payment of your bills. And it also have a listing of your personal information, such as your name, previous names, addresses, current and past, as well as employer information. I consider myself to be a life learner. So when I look at my credit report as well as my credit score, which we will get into credit score in another video, I look at that as my financial GPA. I need to know how well or how not so well I'm doing in regards to my credit. Did you know that there is a federal law that allows you to pull your credit report for free? Yes, girl, I did say for free, from the three major credit bureaus within a 12-month period. Now, in the past, what a lot of people used to do was take this opportunity of pulling their credit report from all three agencies at one time within that 12-month period. Today, we're going to learn how to utilize this resource much more efficiently. So let's say we go online to pull our credit report. Well, like I said, there are three major credit bureaus: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Instead of pulling all three credit reports at one time, what we'll decide to do and how we will utilize this resource more efficiently is pull each credit report at different periods during the 12-month time frame. So for example, it's January, new year, new me, new finances. We're going to pull it all together, find out what is the pulse on our credit status. We're going to pull our credit report, let's say from Equifax. Once we pull it in January, we will then wait until mid-year, maybe about June. We'll go back in and pull another free credit report from TransUnion. And then we'll wait until about the last quarter of the year, October, November, December, again, and pull it from Experian. That way, you're able to pull your credit report 3 times throughout the year, all for free. Now keep in mind that you want to save a copy each time you pull your credit report. So once you download the report, save it as a PDF so that you can always go back to that report until you pull your report from the next credit bureau. You also want to make sure you're saving copies so that you can compare your credit report against each agency. Now, wasn't that a good tip? Come on, hang with me. I got more for you. Now, this federal law does not require each reporting agency to provide you with a credit score. That is something that you will have to pay for. One of the reasons why they are not required to report that to you is that each agency has a way of calculating that credit score based on their own variables. And so your credit score may differ between agencies. It's okay. You can also get your credit score from different banks in which you may bank with, as well as nowadays, even credit card companies will provide you with a credit score. So just make sure you shop around in terms of where you get your credit score, because you don't have to get it from one place and you don't have to get it from the 3 major credit bureaus. There are plenty of websites in which you can go on and pull your credit report. However, for the purposes of this video and for clarification, I'm going to suggest one trustworthy website that I am familiar with. And the reason for this is that there are imposters out there. And when you pull your credit report, you will have to put in important information such as your social security number and other information in order to verify that you are actually you. The website in which I like to use is annualcreditreport.com. I'll repeat that, or you can rewind. Annualcreditreport.com. That is a trustworthy website. In order to pull your website, you have 3 options. You can actually fill out the information right there online and you will receive your credit report immediately. Or you can call the 1-800 number, go through the verification process, and they will send you your credit report within 15 business days. Or you can go online, download a form, print it out, fill it out, mail it back into them, and they will mail you back your credit report again within 15 business days. But if you're computer savvy enough, I suggest going online and downloading the actual credit report right then and there. Again, don't forget to save a copy as a PDF so that you can always refer back to it. We're going to use the Equifax Credit Bureau to run through an example of a credit report. So right off the bat, on the top of the report is your credit summary. Your credit summary highlights the most important information in determining your credit standing. It would also show you account categories, balance of amounts, monthly payments, as well as available credits. You will also see length of credit history, your oldest accounts, your average age of accounts, and your most recent accounts. So the first section would be the mortgage accounts, and this would be any type of loan that you have on real property in which you have financed. Pretty self-explanatory. Let's jump down to the installment accounts. Installment accounts are accounts in which the monthly payment and the number of payments are predetermined. These are things such as a car loan. Now within this section, you'll see your payment history, and for Equifax, they will show you an 81-month payment history, and you will see whether you've been good on your payments or girl, if you need to step it up. Now it starts off with an open account section, and then it goes to the closed accounts. So any type of installment account that is a closed account, what I want you to pay close attention to is the section that says current status. Now within this section, it'll say paid or paid as agreed, or it'll say charge off. Now if the account is at a 0 balance and you've paid off in full, then you'll see for a current status, paid as agreed. However, if you didn't pay this bill and the account is closed, you will see as a current status, charge off. What that means is that the initial company in which you had the debt has now sold that debt to a collection agency. This is unfortunately negatively impacting your credit report as well as your credit score. So what that means, charge off, is that the initial company in which you had the debt has given up on calling you and asking them for their money. So what they have now done is said, you know what, we're going to write this money off as bad debt on our books. However, there are places such as collection agencies that's willing to purchase this debt, pennies on a dollar from them, to now harass you for that money. That is why it is considered a charge-off, because later on down on the report, you will notice that it's under the collection agency or listed as a negative account. The next section is revolving accounts. Revolving accounts are charge accounts that have credit limits. So these would be where your credit cards would be listed. Again, it'll have the open section as well as your closed accounts. Pretty much same information, your payment history, your available credit, the amount of credit that you have used, etc. Our next section would be inquiries. Now, there are two different types of inquiries, soft inquiries and hard inquiries. Soft inquiries are okay. Those are the types of inquiries in which maybe you pulled your credit report. There are also inquiries in which a credit card company has pulled your credit report because they want to see if you are eligible for a promotional offer. It will also be your employer pulling your credit report. These types of inquiries are only available for you to see, and they do not impact your credit score negatively. However, the second type of inquiry are hard inquiries. These inquiries are shown on your credit report when you apply for any type of loan or apply for any type of credit card. They last on your credit report for approximately 24 months. And yes, they do negatively impact your credit. So one thing to be mindful of, let's go back to the example of maybe you would like to purchase a car. Make sure you have a pulse on your finances, because you want that when you're going out there to shop for a car, that you can make sure wherever you shop at, you're shopping at one time and your credit is being pulled during that period of time. Let's say within a 1 to 2 month period of time. What you don't want to happen is that you go out there in January, you're looking for a car, you say, no, I'm not ready yet. Then you go again out there in February and get your credit report pulled again and you say, no, I'm not ready yet. And then you go out there again in March, and these massive amounts of inquiries, that's when lenders start to look at you as a risky borrower, because they're like, what is this chick doing? Why is she continuously applying for loans and applying for credit? So that's something that you don't want to do. And like I said, this lasts on your report for 24 months. So be very mindful that when you're going to shop for something, get a pulse on your credit so that you know where you stand and that you're ready to make that financial decision. We touched a little bit on this next section, will be your negative accounts and or your collection section. This is where, like I said, if you owe T-Mobile some money that you never paid and they sold that debt to a collection agency, you would then see it there. Something I want you to keep in the back of your mind. If you are deciding to clean up some of this debt, and you owe T-Mobile this money, but now it's held, that debt is held with a collection agency, you do not want to pay T-Mobile. T-Mobile will keep your money happily, and then you will have to fight them in order to get it back. So you want to make sure that you are paying the collection agency because they now own the debt, not T-Mobile. Please don't make that mistake. It just creates more of a headache for you. These negative accounts, these collection accounts, they stay on your report for at least 7 years from the last late payment. So be mindful that when you're not making these payments, how it is affecting your credit standing. And in this last section, you'll see your public records. Public records consist of bankruptcies, any types of liens that you may have against you, or any types of judgments that are out there. And these are all things that lenders will look at to determine whether or not you are a risky borrower. So in all of this, when you're looking at your credit report, you also want to check for accuracy. No one is perfect, including these 3 reporting agencies. You want to make sure that the information that's listed is your information and that it is accurate. Your name, your social, your addresses. These things are very important. If you should come across something that is not accurate, you also have the ability to dispute this information. There are 2 ways in which you can dispute this information. If it's a problem with a business, you can either go through the business and they will run an investigation and get back to you within 30 to 45 days, or you can actually go through this dispute process with the credit bureau itself. Personally, I like to start with the credit bureau. I find it to be a little bit easier. Like I said, they will go through an investigation process and they will let you know what the resolution is within 30 to 45 business days. Possibly even sooner. If you do not get the answer in which you were expecting, you can still go through the actual business in which you have found the discrepancy and still try to dispute that again with that company as well. Another tip to also keep in mind is that When you go through this dispute process, say, for example, you pulled your credit report with Equifax and then you notice that there's something that's inaccurate. Equifax then does an investigation and your credit report changes as a result of that investigation. You then have the ability to pull your credit report for free for another 12-month period with that credit bureau. So keep that in mind. A side note that I'd like to mention in terms of looking at disputes on your credit report, there are a lot of credit repair agencies out there, and I'm not trying to knock anybody's side hustle or their business. However, there is nothing that a credit repair agency can do that you can't do on your own for free. I'm going to repeat that. Whatever a credit agency can do, you can do it for free. A credit repair agency will charge you for something that if you just take the time, if you have the patience and you do a little research, you can handle it on your own. Let me know in the comment section below if you've used a credit repair agency and were they beneficial, or do you think that, you know what, you could have done it on your own. I'm just curious to know what else is going on out there. Now, even if you have good credit or if you have bad credit, I still suggest that you pull your credit report 3 times a year. Reason being, and I mentioned this earlier, protect your identity. If you have good credit, then guess what? You can be a major target to hackers out there. And so for that reason, taking a second step, such as putting a security freeze on your credit report, is an absolute great way to prevent identity theft. So what this is that you call up each of the agencies and you will let them know that you would like to put a security freeze on your credit report. That way, if anyone tries to pull out any credit or loan in your name, they will first, they being the credit agency, will have to contact you for permission to pull your credit report. So even if you are applying for a new loan, you want to call the credit agency and have them temporarily lift that credit freeze so that you can apply for the loan and then place that freeze on there again. It's just a good way to protect yourself. So let's go on and wrap this thing up. First of all, like I mentioned before, prevention is better than cure. Get that pulse on your finances. Pull your credit report. It is best to do it now before we get into this black hole of, oh my gosh, look at my credit score. What am I going to do? How can I get out of this hole? Nope, we're not looking for a cure. We are looking for preventative measures. The other thing is pay your bills on time. Make that a habit that never leaves you. Make that a habit that you teach those around you. It is so very important to make those future money moves. Make sure that you are making timely bill payments. And lastly, live within your means. That sounds so simple, but it is amazing how many of us are living a lifestyle that we truly can't afford. There is no need to have store credit cards. There is no need to have 5 different credit cards. That means that you are living above your means, and you don't want to do that because you will find yourself in a debt hole that you cannot dig yourself out of. So my beautiful people, thank you so much for taking the time out to listen to some tips on getting a pulse on your finances. It is truly appreciated. I have so much more videos to come forward regarding Finance 101. So if you haven't already subscribed, make sure that you subscribe down below, as well as hit that notification bell so that you know when those videos drop, as well as give that thumbs up button a click if you've gained something. And also don't forget to share this video with your mama and them so that they can also pick up on some of these tips. Thank you again, and I will see you soon.